We're trying to decide what the best option for us is and whether it's time to move on from the Mako. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the old Mako, just like you saw there in the title. Now, first and foremost, I do want to let you guys know this is not a Mako bashing video by any stretch of the imagination, but there are some qualms I have with this boat after almost 2 years of owning it. And today, we are going to decide, or attempt to decide at least, if it might be time to move on to something different. And here's why we're in this thought process right now. At this point, Brant and I have both had a couple different boat manufacturers reach out to us, talk about some boat deals, things like that moving forward. So I'm not 100% sure how that's going to play out. Nothing is finalized yet, but I will tell you guys that one of the companies we have heard nothing from is Mako, and that is a little bit irritating, just from the fact of between my channel and Brant's channel and Bama Beach Bum's channel, the Mako has gotten a ton of exposure over the course of this last 12 months. I know for a fact that at least 7, maybe 8 people have went to Scott's Marine in Alberta, Alabama, and bought some form of the Mako Pro Skiff, whether it be the 15, the 17, or the 19, and it was directly due to our videos and the review videos, and we have heard nothing. So, with that being said, today we are going to take a moment, walk around the Mako, and we're going to talk about some things to look for before buying a Mako. Again, we're not bashing it. I still love this boat. I want to make that very, very clear. But we are going to address some of these issues I've had with it, and are they enough to be a deal breaker and make us move on? One of the things I'm going to be doing while I'm talking to you guys today about the Mako is cleaning it up, because as many of you have pointed out in the comment section, I have neglected the Mako in some areas. As far as like cleaning the scum line off of it, that really needs to be done, because I have not done that in a long time. So that's what we're doing today. I will talk about a couple of the products we're using. This is not a sponsored video. I do want to throw that out there. These are just products that I use because they've been recommended to me by different people, and they really work. Now, they're not going to be for everybody. I understand that. I'll let you guys know that right up front before everybody jumps in there and is like, oh, this is 10 times better, or that's 10 times better. Yeah, I know. Fully aware there are different and better products out there than what I use. This just happens to be what I like to use for this. And what I'm using right now is the OSFO. It just says stops rust, prepares rust surfaces for painting. I really like it for the scum line on the boat because it's nice. All you have to do is come in and just kind of paintbrush it on, and you can actually see the scum line coming off before I even pressure wash it. So that makes it really nice when it comes to cleaning this stuff up. Now, once you do this, if you use this type of product to remove a scum line from your boat, you do have to go back in and re-wax your boat. And I'm going to do that with some Meguiar's RV and boat wax here in just a few minutes. But I do want to make sure you guys are aware that you do have to re-wax your boat once you do this, because it does take the wax finish off of it. And my favorite thing about this product is there's no scrubbing required. So now all we have to do is come back, hit it with this pressure washer, and the scum line just disappears. Super easy, super efficient. I don't know why I don't do it more, to be quite honest. Now, as far as deck cleaners go on the boat, I pretty much always use the exact same thing. It's this Starbright Ultimate Extreme Clean, and that's just, again, it's just what I like to do. It gives me a nice clean finish on the boat. I don't have to scrub. You do have to scrub with this one. It is definitely not like the hull cleaner. With this one, you definitely have to scrub it if you want to get your boat cleaned. But it does a really good job from a standpoint of getting all the stuff off. A lot of you commented on this right here. I don't know if you guys can see this in the video, but that rust right there, when I bought those bolts to put that rod holder on, those were supposed to be stainless steel bolts. They were not, obviously, because the rust is for real on those, and it has rusted out really bad. So we're going to scrub on the Mako here for a minute and show y'all a couple of different places where I clean it, what I use to clean it, before we get into some of the stuff that we were talking about earlier. It's got me a little stressed out about the Mako. As I told you guys in the intro, I'm going to discuss with you a couple issues that I've had with the Mako since purchasing it almost 2 years ago. We're coming up right on that 2-year anniversary. I've always kept this boat serviced. I've never had any kind of mechanical issues with it whatsoever as far as the engine's concerned. Does really great on gas. But there have been a couple nagging pieces about this boat that have just never been addressed, and never been fixed, even though I've taken it to professionals to try to get them fixed, and it just hadn't happened. And the number one thing is this front bait well. Now, if you've ever done any kind of research on a Mako boat, or you've ever done any kind of ownership of a Mako boat, you are fully aware about the front bait well problem that Mako has had for a while. It was so bad, they actually took the front bait well out of the boat for a little while and just turned it into more of a storage area. They brought it back in the 2020 model, which is what this one is, and it just never got fixed. Once this boat gets underway, I'm talking for even 3 minutes, that front bait well is not working anymore whatsoever. Now, I know several of you have reached out and you've told me about solutions, things I could do to try to fix this, but the bottom line is this is pretty much a brand new boat. So you should not have to jimmy rig stuff together to try to make it work on a brand new boat. I've taken it back to Scott's Marine. I was told there that pretty much wasn't anything they could do. It was just kind of a design flaw of the boat. Contacted representatives at Mako, was basically told the exact same thing from Mako, that it was a design flaw, which to me is kind of unacceptable. If you have a brand new vessel that you have bought, everything should work on it as it should, and this front bait well just never has worked whatsoever. So it is literally wasted space. You really can't store anything on it, because if you put the plug in it, it still gets backwater in, so it's not dry storage. And you can't use it as a bait well because the water won't recycle into it. So if you put bait in there, it's just going to die almost immediately. I did end up earlier this year, I just bought a really nice Engel bait cooler that I keep on the boat, and that's where I keep my live bait at, because the live well works fine. It's in the back of the boat, no issues with that one whatsoever, but this front bait well is just not ever going to work for whatever reason, design flaw or whatever. But to me, that's just kind of unacceptable for a brand new vessel to not work like that. All right, and next issue, and this is one I've kind of downplayed for a little while because a lot of people have asked me about this. It's not a huge deal, and it's definitely not a deal breaker, but it is something that has me leaning towards a different boat, and that is the storage options on the Mako. This is it. What you're seeing right here is the storage options on this boat, period. There's nowhere else that you can really store anything on this boat unless you have a dry box, and this is not dry storage. So like if we need to put camera equipment or something like that, we have to put it in a dry box, move life jackets, throw them back under the back or something like that, just to make enough space for even a small camera case. So the lack of storage on this boat. Now, I do want to stress, I knew what I was getting into when I purchased this boat. So that's not a knock on the boat. That's just me saying, I think we've moved to a point where it might not be right for us anymore because we don't have that storage. Now, if you don't need a lot of storage, or you don't keep a lot of stuff on your boat, and you only need one life jacket, then hey, that's going to be plenty for you, and you don't need it to be dry, because this does not stay dry at all. The first little bit of water comes over the boat on this bad boy is getting soaked every single time. And again, with the storage issue, now the problem is there's usually never more than 2 people on this boat. Now you've seen a couple instances where we've had 4 people fishing on here. Back when we brought Matt Beams down, did a fishing video with him. I'll drop a clip of that right there so you can see it. So this thing will fish 4 people. Let's not make any mistake about that whatsoever. But it is really, really difficult to fish once you get more than 2 people on here, if I'm being honest. When you put 2 people and all of our gear on here, Brant and I both have bags. We both have camera bags. And then you got stuff like nets. We got our gaff just laying back here, which is incredibly dangerous because that's sharp. There's just no place to put this stuff, even while you're using it, because you can't take rod holders to stick it in because we have to put rod holders in them. So I really wish this boat had more storage. So Brant and I are both in the process right now of looking at different boat manufacturers to sign a deal with. We've had a few reach out to us already. We have not signed anything yet. We're going to be going and doing some factory tours, things of that nature. We're definitely going to bring you guys along for that journey moving forward if we do decide to move to a different boat. And if you know somebody that works for a boat manufacturer or works in marine sales and they have a boat that you think we do really well with, hey, have them reach out to us. We haven't signed anything yet. We're still open to all suggestions. If you guys know of a boat that you think might work better for us than the Mako, leave a comment down below. I am really open to looking at other boats right now. I just feel like at this point, the Mako has been incredible for us up to this point, but now I'm starting to have things pop up that is kind of hindering us from fishing and filming And obviously that's important to us. If you're just looking to fish, I think this boat is great. I still think it's a great boat, but I really think if you're looking to film and fish out of a boat, this might not be the best option if you've got more than one person on here, because you just really start to lose a lot of the room that you have to walk around, to put your gear, to have your gear stored safely. It's just not here with this boat right now, unfortunately. Another issue I've had is you guys have heard me talk about wanting to add more rod holders to the boat, and I would love to be able to put some rod holders on the front of the boat. And the issue is this right here is just not wide enough to put an inset rod holder. So you're stuck with either having to drill down in the hull, which we know we don't want to do. I'm not sure, you can't access that in the front, so I can't put a rod holder there. So the only place that you can add extra rod holders is in the back of the boat, which is pretty much where all the rod holders I need are anyways, and I really would like to add some to the front, and you just can't do that. We do a lot of stuff out there when I'm just up here with my trolling motor, and then you step up here and you're like, whether you're sight fishing or whatever you're doing, and you want to have an extra rod, you have no place to put it. The only way that you can put it in the boat up here is to lay it down. You guys have seen instances where we have laid rods down on here and they've gotten hung up in this hatch wall, and the end of the rod tip gets broken off or something like that. So really not a great option of adding a rod holder to the front of the boat. That's something, if we decide to move forward and get something else, that's going to be a huge piece that plays into that, is if we can put rod holders in the front to where we can just jam a rod down in there, sight fish, whatever, or maybe we need to have two rods up here at one time. It's just kind of a nuisance to have to go all the way back to the back of the boat to get extra rods.
Dude, there is no way that you're actually going to sell this. I don't believe you.
Dude, like, I think it's time for me to move on to something different. Like,
where did this come from?
I mean, you know where it comes from. I mean, we've talked to multiple people the last few days. So
that's true. That's true.
I'm just saying, like, I know I talked about keeping it, but at the same time, I'm thinking about selling it. But that's not the problem I'm having right now. The problem I'm having right now is I'm trying to get it cleaned up, like every nook and cranny, and I bet I've found, dude, I bet I've found 10 menhaden hidden on this boat and a ladyfish head.
I told Matt not to do that.
Yeah,
and he did it anyway.
I'm pretty sure it was you.
I told Beach Mom, I was like, you need to stop hiding menhaden in Ron's boat. He wouldn't do it.
I have a real good feeling it was not Beach Bum, it was you.
That's not true.
I know for a fact the ladyfish head.
I saw Brad put, that was Brad, Bearded Brad put the ladyfish head.
You and Bearded Brad will never be mistaken for each other, ever. But yeah, man, like, I'm cleaning her up. I'm seriously contemplating the next steps here.
Good deal. Well,
we got to find something right,
I guess.
You guys saw Brant show up. And I mentioned earlier in this video, the fact that Mako had not reached out to one of us is kind of absurd, to be quite honest. Like, between myself, Brant, and Bama Beach Bum, we've got
40 million views.
Just on YouTube alone. And then that's not to mention all the views on Facebook as well. So that's what initially got Brant and I started at looking at other manufacturers, and not necessarily looking, but being open to the conversation when they reach out.
Yeah,
that was the thing.
So we did have several manufacturers reach out to us.
And at first I was like, no go. I love my Mako. And Brant's like, you got to hear this out.
Yeah, and so we have been to the factories, looked around, and like what we see.
Yeah.
Talking about deals, but we're also open to shopping around even more, because we have not made a decision yet.
Yeah, we have not signed a deal yet. So we are still open. And I mentioned that earlier in the video. If you know someone that is a boat manufacturer or works at a marine sales, I mean, we're open to a number of things right now, but we're getting close.
And I can say this: out of the two manufacturers, make great boats, but we want the boat that is right for what we want to do and for our area.
And I mentioned earlier, and right for our followers. I think that was one of the things we talked about early on. Is when we do this, we want to make sure that we are in something that is practical for everybody. We want something that makes sense for our followers and subscribers on YouTube, Facebook, and all that. So that's another thing we're taking into consideration while going through this process. Guys, I truly hope you enjoyed this video. It's definitely different for us, but I did want to bring you guys along because we do try to include you in every single thing we do, in every facet. And this is just part of it. Sarah and I are sitting back, we're weighing our options. We're trying to decide what the best option for us is and whether it's time to move on from the Mako. Now, we took some time in this video and we cleaned it up, showed you a few products that I like to use to clean up the boat, and to show you guys, yes, I do in fact clean the Mako every now and then. For all of you who did not think that we do clean the boat from time to time. I'll leave you guys with this. Leave a comment down below and just let me know what you guys think. We really value your opinion on this channel and what we do. Do you think we should move on? Do you think we should stick with the old faithful Mako? I'm not sure. I'm really not. Like, I'm still torn on what to do here because I do like this boat a lot. Does it have some things that drives me absolutely crazy from time to time? Most certainly. It definitely does. But overall, I love the accessibility of it. I love the fishability of it most of the time. I love the places we can take it. I mean, we've had this boat in some skinny water, y'all, that other boats just wouldn't get into. So it definitely has its pros and cons. As I told you at the beginning of this video, I don't want it to sound like this is a bash Mako video because it is not whatsoever. My biggest complaint, like I told you guys earlier, I am a little disappointed that we have not heard from them at this point with all the promotion that we've given them throughout this past year. But that's neither here nor there. I'm sure they got a pro staff somewhere who does a lot more than what we do. That was a little disappointing, but I do still love this boat. And at this point, I don't know. I don't know what exactly we should do, what we want to do. We're just going to have to figure it out. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, give this video a great big thumbs up. If you're new here to the Cameraman Ron channel, actually, before I say that, let me say this. For all y'all that remember the old boat review videos, thank you. You're the real MVPs of this channel because without you all, we never would have got started and we'd never be where we are today. So for all y'all that was back at the old boat review videos, y'all been here for a minute and we appreciate that. For those of you that are new to the Cameraman Ron channel, if you like what you see, smash that subscribe button 2021 style. We can't wait to see y'all on the next one. Y'all take care. We'll see you soon.